Hallo, welkom hier by Farmboek. Okay, bietjie markte hier van FNB af. Hoe lyk die kommoditeitsgoeders en die beeste, skape, daai tipe van dinge? So, Paul Makube gaan ons bietjie vertel, hoe lyk die dinge? Paul, hoe gaan dit?
No, goed.
Nee, wat aan hoe's Nampo?
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah. I took a few of our colleagues here around to show them the agricultural machinery and what is happening here around here. That's fantastic.
Dat hulle net kan verstaan hoe lyk die dinge hierso.
Yeah, so that they can understand.
Okay, so let's talk markets a bit. Commodity prices and so forth. As jy nou kyk, ons sit op hierdie stadium wat ons darm dit wil lyk of ons die ryp darm so 'n bietjie gemis het.
Ja.
Maar hoe lyk die vooruitsigte vir geelmielies in die volgende paar maande?
Yeah, at the moment it looks like we're seeing a sideways trend in the maize prices, and this is as a result of the this dissipating concerns of frost. We haven't had any news of frost at the moment, and therefore the expectation is that the crop is going to be relatively good, despite the fact that it is down on last year. And looking forward is that in the next few weeks we should expect prices to remain relatively flat due to harvest pressure. On the soybean side, there are concerns that quality is relatively compromised, but we still have to see.
What was the reason for that?
Some of the pods were relatively light that's in some areas, but we still have to see the extent of the decrease in yields.
And see exactly where we end up, and nobody knows at this stage.
Nobody knows at this stage, and until we get the second estimate, the third estimate actually, that we will then have an indication of what the crop size looks like.
And just getting back to maize quickly, if you were to look at the difference between white maize and yellow maize, do you foresee that we will maybe get some premium for white maize compared to yellow maize in the next few months, or will they more or less move together?
They will more or less move together, but at the moment, due to the fact that we've planted a little bit more of white maize this year, so they should be able to move in tandem with each other going forward.
And specifically when you're looking, because let's say I want to put in an early white maize crop to take some benefits of March prices next year, do you foresee that there's maybe some scope there, or do you think it will just be more or less status quo?
It will be more or less status quo. I think everything is now weather dependent. If we get the early rains in the new season, then that will be beneficially, especially in the east, where planting happens earlier than the rest of the areas.
And if you're looking at livestock, how's the livestock? Hoe lyk die diere op die veevooruitsigte?
Yes, at the moment we are in the winning season, so winter calves are under pressure at the moment. They've come relatively down. We have recovered a little bit from the foot and mouth disease scare, though we have there is some resumption of exports happening. But prices haven't moved back to the levels that they were, but it's quite an improvement from early January levels.
And in the next few months, let's say till the end of the year, how's the markets looking? What can we expect?
Yes, now obviously, winter calves will remain depressed for the next few weeks into the winter period, and with the seasonal decline in demand, and prices should remain at current levels, or even ease a little bit into the winter months. The only exception, of course, is your Class C beef, and also your offal that normally push up during the winter period. Now going into towards the end of the year, we should expect a slight recovery in prices as we head into December. And that, of course, is dependent on the economy as well. We have gone through the elections now. Confidence should return into the economy, and we should see some traction there. Consumer disposable income is very important for the meat market.
So in your point of view, how do you see maybe now you're saying some confidence coming back into the market, but and I think this is one of the big parts that's going to determine prices going forward is the economic growth that we're able to realize in the country. What's your take on it? What do you see going forward?
Yeah, obviously, I mean, the market was waiting for the elections to go and provide which will provide an indication of policy uncertainty and you know what is likely to happen. At the moment, the elections are gone, and indications are that there's going to be emphasis on the economy, and we need that confidence to boost business and also the consumer, which will then be beneficial for the agricultural market, especially the meat market.
And a last point. If we look at the fresh produce market, how's things going there at this stage?
Yeah, it's a very volatile market, but on a year-on-year basis, we have seen an upward trend in both the fruit and vegetable prices. They are relatively higher than last year, and this is a result of the tight supply situation, especially on markets. But relatively on a week basis, mid-month we saw this week, last week's prices relatively down, and this is as a result of limited, uptake on markets due to, mid-month, demand issues.
So just explain that to me quickly. You're saying due to meat demand issues.
Mid-month.
Mid-month.
Yes,
because I was now what? Yeah. So it's because people are only paying at the end of the month.
Yes, it is after the month end, and then we are heading into the mid-month, and it's a slow activity in terms of uptake, and then start picking up as people get money for the for their salaries towards from the 20th going forward.
Is that a cyclical thing more or less, where it just goes like that through most of the months?
Yeah, it's a cyclical thing that goes on, but also on the product availability side is supply and demand, the seasonal factors that affect the volumes that are available on the market, but also it can be affected by if there is an interruption, such as weather events, such as we have too much rains that we had, for example, with the potatoes, where the guys could not get into the fields and actually uplift the product, and therefore it affected the market for a week, and then thereafter, when they are able to get into the lands and get the product, then suddenly prices normalize and even actually fall sharply, and almost you have a recorrection. And
in the fresh produce market, there's usually this one anomaly, like potatoes, for example, going a ridiculous price. Was there something like that in the past few months?
Yes, there's been a situation where we had a drastic fall in prices, and as I explained, that was weather related, and then prices started normalizing again as supplies contracted, and at the moment prices have recovered to the normal levels, but this is quite a volatile market, and it depends on the supply and demand on a weekly basis.
Paul, thank you very much. Right, so dis Paul Makube hierso van van Nampo af by FNB. Bietjie oor die markte van al die verskillende goederes. As jy meer inligting soek, sit vir julle knoppie onder en dan kan ons julle kontak of julle bietjie meer inligting stuur. Tot volgende keer. Groete.